frightens fiends away. I first saw Ape-Cat climbing up the side of a building in a deserted and derelict district of the city. Ape-Cat! Simian and feline commingled, a moonlit biform grotesquerie. Root muscles shifting under the brown pelt, blue in the dark and neon ambient. Bestial yet wise, green eyes shining 6 stories up astride a Gothic style. Dark side Odell roosting in the pinnacles and parapets, a nightmare out of the ancient Mesopotamian, screaming into the modern metropolitan. Ape-Cat's wonders quick, Ape-Cat leaped upon a pit. Ape-Cat strikes thunder, boat crashes through with glass. Breaks up a coven of senior gargoyles, 11 devils met in 11 shades, his out throat is gnarly. Ferocity and acrobatic agility with the trap sprung on her. Lights out and a laugh in the dark, a hoarse whisper in both pointed ears at once, been falling, clawing air without impact. Falling up, falling in, Ape-Cat. What you doing so far from home in the big city? Ape-Cat, the gods to the number on you, amalgamate and abandon you. Who are you, Lord? She asks in the gutter of her. What is your deepest wish to say? Ah, she cries, Ape-Cat, 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 alive and diving 20 feet down and outward. Gunshots behind her, swiftly swinging in the stinging rain. Down the iron fire ladders angling, from alley to street to alley abruptly, into the cluttered space between buildings. Dogs laying on a trail with her way at the side of her blowing a hiss. Kiss! A blood bird drenched in the light of night, the unexpected light at night. Come on, shake my hand. What do you feel? A cold claw slithering on. Hungry boys got the jump on you. Gonna work the spectral bop on you. Did you feel the tempo and tone? That razor sharp bone claw made his attempt to tattoo on the timid teeth of a rusty steel saw blade. Tap, scream, scream, tap, tap, scream, scream, tap. Hungry boys got the jump on you. His hungry toys got the jump on you. Icy fingers on your spine from behind, introduce you to it. Monsters of thought. Scream, tap, tap, scream, scream, tap, tap, scream. Don't look now. Here comes a Angus fang and a tentacle track to chop your chicken gang. Shut your husk red and red. Here comes Cloud clearing. Man, oh man, it'll raise your skin stare to make you understand. Here comes a singing star and a Felix to sing your cerebellum and to trouble your double helix. And time does not permit to tell of horn homers, Jim, scaly scarlet et al. Yeah, Iron Horn, John, and Ape-Cat too, and on a chain pulled by a brick bad crew. The good captain's shot.
I see a stupid man on his smartphone. Everything talks, he walks along and throngs alone. He is auto-incommunicado, every man, no one. The streets buckle and heave under him. The weight of nothingness bears down, down on the earth. Every window in every building, every leaf on every tree spatters out bloodless voices and voided noises. Millions of human vermin swarm over and around one another. Avoid the voided neighbor, then void the avoid with rapid eye, vapid vision. Every tiny rearing person worm is a stunning regal banqueter, beautiful and alive and radiantly creative and gallows bound, stabbing stiff little fingers on thin luminous glass in the palm. Click and drag, click and drag, click and drag, click and drag. The slow and steady train track rhythm in their minds unheard, round the world, round the world, round the whole wide world, and back again, and back again, and back into our little hands again. The simian seraph makes a sign. It means he will have chips with others. It means he knows not what. He laughs into his palm and signs and sighs, burning with terrible intelligence. His gaze glazes over with tonight's appetites. He beats his great chest with great fists and is borne aloft on invisible wings, while each of two bloods sings inside and on top of him for the mastery. In the masonry he muddles through the midst of as he laps at puddles of lapsed love, and he huddles in handheld hovels and grovels for broth from brothels, is moaning for the matrimony, for the holy, holy, holy matrimony. Moaning for the holy, 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 holy matrimony. Holy, 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 holy matrimony. Moaning for the holy, holy, holy matrimony.
Blood pooling in this palm. Blood pooling in this palm. Head out to you. Blood pooling in this palm. Head out to you. Blood pooling in this palm. Head out to you. Blood pooling in this palm. Head out to you. Blood pooling in this palm. You cannot expect to pay a debt with the currency of sleep. Talented, talent. Tap your shoulder, you look over just in time to see the green black beak and surmise. It's stabbing at your eyes. Bleak plumage and pinions flapping in your face, muffling your cries for murder must advertise. Ontologically haunted, ravenous ravens rocking the playgrounds and blacking the skies in the skies. Ontologically haunted. Who's afraid of the big bad poltergeist guys behind blue minds? Existentially undead. Detective of nightmares, detective of dreams, when reality tears all is not as it seems. When the fuss not to blow you toward the color cathedral, you know what you gotta do, you gotta retort. That who is the story report? I recorded the spirit of the age. When it all starts to blow you toward the color cathedral, you can feel it slithering in up that put the zeitgeist over your shoulder. It's closer to your psyche. You create succubus mothers, these mothers, yeah, those are fun, I'm not no suckers, I'm the succubus every time. You know what they say, the leech has two daughters, give and give. Incubus, I hooked on your flesh, I said that incubus injected infection inside us. But the voice of the other loves whispered bang in your blood, leaves harpoon fiends festooned in gore as the smoke curls up from the bloodstream floor. Detective of dreams, detective of nightmares, the unexpected screams you descend the stellar storms. Is it a troubling ghost or a drowned corpse? You know your eyes never meet, and a terrible paraclete speaking up your spine and folding you. Oh, the terrible paraclete slips into your where words that raise the hairs from your neck with whispers of love moving blood pooling in this palm. Blood pooling in this palm. Blood pooling in this palm. Blood pooling in this palm.
Red dwarf sunset, two strange figures converse. The one, tall, tough, and rangy, Stetson-crowned and duster-clad and spur-boot shod and six-gun fixed, betimes glinting fire on metal with a nod or gesture. The other, dark, dire, huge, and hairy, loping pine gait, yet curiously erect, and despite his fearful bulk, glimmering, wraith-like.
Pencil phantom all Anticipations. Macabre is a collaboration on your Automatons from Can You Buy us and Icon of the Sale. Seems like everybody in this no-account spaceport also goes behind the face except for me and my sword. Silent cypher icon from this apparition. How do you from beyond the veil? You hail my brother in half humanity. I'm the spectral wolf and you're the haunted man. My beauties, I became the phantom. Autosapiens, am I sentient? Am I meant from whence is the spirit sent? Every laser pistol in the place is drawn out the holster of every Johnny outlaw, Nick Mercenary and Charlie Marshall in this hellhole. The mini-colored blast flame out and muttering in his circuitry as it's fired to the fray. His reveling time seems to freeze. He falls to his knees. If I can die, can I live? Never could lie to his cursed curve, dark star. What farther shores are you from? Are you ever going home? Anything could happen, son. It could go on forever. Just jump off the cliff. Shoot out! Do you feel my soul blasting out? Watch your face, I'm busting sparks and blood is spraying out all of us. All metal under the skin is glowing, firing under the metal showing we meet it with the maker in all this blood and blood. All we meet it with the maker in all this bloody blood. All we meet it with the maker in all this bloody blood.
Alright, from the notebook, Writing Scraps and Scrapes. What do we have here? Right, short story idea about joggers behind you at night, eventually revealed to be dog-faced. That's part of the Cthulhu-esque cycle. Working on another one. Bird monster scream at night after passing two young girls. This happened to me. You turn around at the hideous shriek, and the girls are nowhere to be seen. What happened? They shapeshifted? They were victims of whatever screamed? The sound for a split second kind of sounded like one of the girls erupting in a jocund shriek because they had been laughing and sporting loudly as they passed me. It was eerie. Anyway, the experiment with time story, the narrator discusses the space-time worm theory of selfhood or non-selfhood, which he doesn't believe, but he wonders if it's insightful for sort of a trail, like the segment of time itself is preserved. Here's an excerpt from the working story of this chap, this unfortunate chap. Sometimes, he says, I like to sit there like any other, quote-unquote, human being, on a bench in George Square in what passes for spring in this cold country, dangerously languorous, sunshine burning one ear while cold embraces the other, seabirds laughing insanely overhead, flapping imperiously down among the moping pigeons to snatch viciously
at crumbs. Afternoon sun, late afternoon. The colors are getting deeper, richer. I shouldn't be here right now. Time to go. Someplace remote from crowds where perhaps there meanders a loner, but I sit here in the sun, proximate to the aggregate congregations of elderly, very young, youth, and the rest. I sit here with them in their company, as if I'm one of them. I luxuriate in the warmth on one side of me, and it's dangerous to stay here. The hunger for light builds. It will reach a point of no abating, and I will feed, one way or another. Yes, it is downright stupid to sit here, and it is only by letting my contempt for this race grow that I can do it. Okay, later in the story, he lets it all happen. Or this is what could happen. He lets it all happen and he doesn't move, but full sunset colors never materialize. The sky is overcast. The hunger never initiates full light vampiric mode. The kill is not made. And he kicks himself for risking it because he doesn't want to become hunted. Now, another thought is there one scene of an afterward victim, the light sucked result. Hard to see until light seeps back in. So there's a missing person for weeks, a blot or a stain on the edges of vision, unconsciously stepped around, avoided by people walking through the city as they encounter this on the pavement. And maybe a scene at the end of him sucking desperately, pathetically, repulsively. Now, here's another note. Elder God's chaos city described, evoking a certain hideous beauty. One asks, who is in this, is there beauty in absolutely everything, even hell? Is it inescapable? And another replies, yes, and ineradicable. But in hell, its beauty eternally twisted to sickening repulsiveness. It is the most painful, tragic kind of ugliness. And this might be connected to another story, this Daylight Monsters story. Now back to the light vamp is, in terms of a victim. When other light, because the light of the victim's been sucked out, but when other light finally seeps in over like a fortnight, the re-colored result is unspeakably wrong. Sometimes it's hard to say just how, but other times portions are off or wholly rearranged, and this is quite grotesque. They're identified only by fingerprints, though those also are often off, so they can't be identified. Some people think it's the work of like a gruesome body disfigurer, and they begin to write articles about the psychosis. And he himself, of course, knows they have it all wrong. Now, on the other hand, a whole different story, Hellboy story, featuring a chap called Charlie Carter, pastor and pugilist, preacher and boxer. Did 2 years of undergraduate theology at an institution that was none too sure there was either theos or logia. He dropped it to become a low church pastor of an independent non-denominational church in the Midwest. A national fighting federation was run in their nearly 100-year-old school building. So there's a question here about how did he first meet Hellboy? What were the circumstances of becoming Hellboy's pastor and of starting the underground church for monsters? I don't know what this is. A god of Mesopotamia descends to earth, and a god of Gehenna rises up to meet it in battle. The city looms around and shifts and vies for front row action. Interesting. I have no idea what that one's about and what it connects to. You see, here's a note on the Ape-Cat story, which is also the Hellboy and his pastor story, which is where the character Ape-Cat comes for the song. But what do I have here? Climbing, leaping among city walls by night. Before the fight, that's what's happening before the fight between her and Charlie Carter, and then which is also before the fight between her and Hellboy. But anyway, also before that, Charlie Carter is coming out of a Bible study or a fight night at his church, not sure, maybe a different church in Chicago. Charlie is a provisional pacifist pugilist. Okay, have to work that one out. What was Hellboy doing just before this? He's investigating, I think. Start with Charlie. Yes, the story starts with Charlie versus Ape-Cat, the fight in the alley almost. And then Hellboy steps in at the end of that. Okay, then the story backs up and shows each of the three reaching this point. So Ape-Cat, Hellboy, and Charlie. Then proceeds to Charlie and Hellboy after the fight. The story does. When they're conversing while they sort of clean up the mess they've made and do something with the carcass of Ape-Cat, perhaps. And then finally, at the end of sort of the story, which is actually somewhere in the middle of it, it describes the sort of monumental fight scene between Hellboy and Ape-Cat. Described in mythic, spiritually weighted prose a la O'Connor McCarthy. Well, we'll see. What kind of monster is Ape-Cat? A mythical amalgamation and or lab experiment? Is Charlie Carter also a horror movie fanatic? We need to research fighting and hand-to-hand combat. Back to the light vamp. He takes a random bus out of the city. I better go.